Welcome back to Ainlight 44 Explained, where we talk about mythology, theology, history, and all different types of spiritual topics. If you find this video resonates with you, please feel free to like, subscribe, and share the video. This world could have been paradise, but it isn't. And maybe that's not a mistake. 2,000 years ago, Plato described a cave where prisoners were chained from birth, watching shadows on a wall. They believed the shadows were the only reality. They didn't know the shadows were curated by puppeteers behind the scenes. Today, the cave is digital. The puppeteers are algorithms, and the shadows are the curated feeds designed to keep you from turning around. In 1785, Jeremy Bentham designed the Panopticon, a prison where one guard could see everyone, but no one could see the guard. The goal wasn't just to watch, it was to make the prisoners watch themselves. When you never know when you're being seen, you behave as if you are always watched. Foucault called this the diagram of power. It moved from the prison to the school, the factory, and now to every corner of your life. In 1961, Stanley Milgram conducted a study on obedience. He wanted to know how far people would go to follow an authority figure. The results were terrifying. Most participants were willing to administer lethal electric shocks simply because a man in a lab coat told them they must. It revealed the banality of evil. That most people don't commit atrocities out of malice, but out of a deep-seated programming to obey authority. A decade later, the Stanford Prison Experiment showed how quickly systemic roles can consume individual identity. Within days, ordinary students became sadistic guards or broken prisoners. The system didn't just manage them, it rewrote their very souls. It proved that the system is stronger than the individual, that once you step into a role, the role begins to play you. John Calhoun took this to the biological level with Universe 25, a rodent utopia that became a social hell. The behavioral sink showed that when social bonds are broken by environmental stress, society itself begins to cannibalize. A group called the Beautiful Ones emerged. They stopped interacting. They only ate, slept, and groomed, a population that had surrendered its spirit. Naomi Klein revealed how this collapse is weaponized: disaster capitalism, the exploitation of collective trauma. When a population is in shock, they enter a blank slate state, too disoriented to resist. This is when the most radical changes are forced through. The system is rewritten while the people are distracted by survival. Policies that serve power are installed in the wake of the shock. This isn't new. 500 years before the Common Era, Sun Tzu taught that the supreme excellence is to break the enemy's resistance without fighting. Ancient leaders like Alexander the Great and Genghis Khan utilized these principles not just for tactical victory, but for long-term systemic control. They co-opted local elites to ensure the machine of power continued to grind, even after the smoke of battle cleared. Edward Bernays took these principles to the masses. He realized the invisible government could manage the subconscious desires of the people. Operation Mockingbird institutionalized this. The infiltration of news by the CIA, the mighty Wurlitzer playing any tune they desired, and Project MKUltra targeted the individual mind, using trauma and chemicals to find the blank slate within the human psyche. Image AU 34.0. In the 21st century, this has evolved into technocognition, the application of psychological principles to the very architecture of information. Algorithms don't just predict what you'll like, they design what you'll become. Guy Debord called this the society of the spectacle, a world where authentic life is replaced by its own representation. Baudrillard spoke of hyperreality, a state where the map has become more real than the territory, where the simulation is all we know. Then there is predictive programming, conditioning the masses to accept future events by presenting them as fiction first, breaking down resistance before the shock even arrives. The final evolution is the algorithmic self, a state where our digital footprint is no longer a shadow, but a container that absorbs our very essence, directing our behavior through a choice architecture we cannot even see. Today, the war is algorithmic. Surveillance capitalism. Your data is harvested to predict and then influence your every move. Image M4@9. The filter bubble is the new panopticon. You are controlled not by what you can't see, but by the very things you choose to look at. Today, The war is algorithmic. Surveillance capitalism. Your data is harvested to predict and then influence your every move. Image M489. The spiral of silence is the final filter. When misinformation cancels out facts and the social cost of speaking the truth becomes too high, the public loses the ability to coordinate. We become a society of isolated whispers. The antidote is intellectual self-defense, a rigorous skepticism that allows you to decode the filters and understand the web of deceit used to keep the public passive. It starts with the choice to look away from the shadows and toward the source of the light. But where there is systemic control, there is systemic resilience. A global web of human connection is forming, decentralized, peer-to-peer, and resistant to the filters of the old world. A new reality is being built from the ground up. We are standing at a crossroads. The old structures of control are tightening, but the cracks are beginning to show. We must build new bridges, decentralized, human-first systems that prioritize truth over power. You were told your government protects you, serves you, represents you, but look closer. Power doesn't serve the people, it manages them. There is enough food to feed everyone, enough land to house everyone, enough knowledge to heal almost everything. So why is there still suffering? You're not just being informed, you're being programmed. Fear, anger, division, fed to you daily until it becomes your reality. War never ends, it just changes location. Different flags, different excuses, same result. Death for the many, profit for the few. Peace is spoken about, but never fully delivered. Because war is one of the most powerful tools of control ever created. While you argue, the system tightens, quietly, efficiently. Image Zajiki 0R style. While you argue, the system tightens, quietly, efficiently. The chains aren't on your wrists, they're in your mind. You think you're free, because you can choose what to watch, what to buy, what to believe. But what if those choices were chosen for you? An illusion of freedom is the strongest prison of all. It is a cage without bars, a cell you never want to leave. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you see the system, you can't unsee it. And the moment people stop being distracted is the moment everything begins to change. The question is, will they let it change? Reclaiming your mind starts with reclaiming your attention. To look away from the curated spectacle and back toward the vast, unscripted beauty of the real world. To see the stars again and remember who you are. The system only holds power as long as we believe the shadows are the only reality. The moment you step toward the light, the design begins to crumble. The first step is yours. Thank you for joining us today on another episode of Ainlight 44 Explained. We hope you leave inspired and uplifted. Carry peace, love, light, and blessings with you wherever you go, and we'll see you next time.